I'm a dude, and I'm inviting you to join me on a podcast about brews.
Does that include stouts?
Yes, of course it includes stouts. Like I was saying, join us every Saturday on the journey into...
Wait a minute. Do you guys do anything about like IPAs?
Yes,
like that?
yes, we do IPAs.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, join us on the Journey into Comics Network for Brews with Dudes.
Whoa, hey, have you guys do you care if I bring some Zima on?
Yes, I care if you bring Zima. Zima doesn't count. Zima's Dr. Dongo. Anyway, join us every Saturday for a podcast that delves into the craft brew world.
The following
Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
It's a journey into comics.
Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics.
Journey into Comics
Network
Production.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crucial Tunes. I'm your host, Chris, with my other host, Larry. Say hey, Larry.
What up?
Oh, he didn't say it this time.
I do it every time. Fuck that. I'm on that new shit.
All right, with us today, we have our homies from Stoleaway, local, I guess, what do you call yourselves? Melodic hardcore?
Yeah, metalcore, melodic hardcore, whatever you want to call it.
Lean into the mic.
Tight shit. That's what you call them.
This is Mill and Steve, guitarist and singer from Stoleaway, brothers. Yeah. I guess I don't know if we're gonna talk. I don't know what you guys want to talk about today. So we covered this a little bit before we started the show. You guys have a release coming out.
Yeah. So we have on Spotify we have a single for "Falling Through Space," and then there's a re-recorded old song "Leech" on there. So there's tape coming out of that single. It's UK and Europe first, and then we should get a US release a little bit later. So by the time this comes out, it'll probably already be online.
And Falling Through Space, that's the clip that I'm dropping in at the beginning of the episode. So that's what you guys have heard at the beginning. And then if you stick around to the end of the episode, I'll play the full track.
I think the first time we played that live, wasn't it with them when we played a show with them? Was it the first time we played it?
Was that
The
before?
August show?
Was that before South Bend?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so the first time we ever played that song live was at that show we played with you guys.
Oh, at the Low Legion?
Which one? The Moose.
Oh, at the Moose?
Oh, the Moose
okay.
show.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was cool. It would have been a lot cooler if there was a bigger crowd, but I mean, it was a Moose club.
We were like opening the sets with that breakdown for a while, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's just like play the song." And it's like one of those things where it's such a short song, so you don't think it's hard to play, but then I always mess up the lead.
Oh sure.
That's how it always goes.
It's on our bingo sheet every show. We have a bingo sheet.
I've seen the bingo sheet you posted on Facebook, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much to entertain myself while I have to sit there. And I mean, like, if we play with you guys and, like, Low Country and, like, I don't know, Spineless, like, whatever, it's fun. But, like, if I'm playing a show and, you know, sometimes it's, like, you're out of town, so you get there early and then there's no bands to watch, so you gotta entertain yourself before there's...
So for anybody that's not familiar, there's bingo sheets that you do. It's like local band bingo.
Yeah.
It's the things that you see at a typical local show, things that go wrong on a set, or like, you know, some things will be like a line 6 spider amp or something.
Yeah.
You know,
I've
unmiked.
never played a show with someone with a spider.
Oh, I have.
I mean, I have when I was like 14.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say it's probably been a few years.
I haven't been
now.
Well, that's because you guys have been playing like shows with like us and like Low Country and whoever. But
people
like,
that care about their gear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but like, have played with plenty of bands who, you know, and then they scoop their mids out and you can't hear them in the back of the room.
Scoop the mids.
Yeah,
you know, aren't you all about that?
Yeah. Any metalhead is about scooping mids.
I like metal.
There was actually
you're about scooping mids.
A retroactive sheet from the Franklin House show someone made.
Like a bingo sheet?
Yeah, like it was just all the shit that happened that night. It was friend of the band Nina Tadic. She made it after the show.
I would love to see that.
For anybody that's not from the local area, the Franklin House show was It was
So
actually
tight.
it was Low Country. The guys that we
Coach.
had on a recent episode, Low Country. I think we even teased the show. It was their EP release show. Things got a little wild during Stoleaway's set.
But not during our set, you bunch of boring shits.
We're not that kind of band, I guess.
I
But-
mean,
We got breakdowns.
look, you know what though? Like, it's funny. Like, we've played, I don't know, 30 some odd shows, right? Like local shows and like local and like in the surrounding states. Like, we're not touring band or
Is
anything.
that pretty terrible?
So we played in front of people, different people for years, and like a lot of times we'll play and people just kind of stand with their arms crossed and watch.
Yeah.
And then after the set, they'll buy merch and buy CDs. And like, yo, that was sick, but they like don't move. And then when they do move, it's just like I have to stop playing the same song 4 times because they won't stop fighting. So it's like,
Right.
can you please pick like something in the middle? Like,
It's kind of like a halt.
So during Stoleaway's set, and actually this is the funny part about it is it was basically our bassist Jack that kind of started the whole thing. He wasn't. I wouldn't say he was the instigator,
No, he was just drunk and
but
obnoxious.
he was very drunk, being obnoxious, moshing. He likes to mosh during Stoleaway. He's said.
respect.
Jack has said that you guys are his absolute weakness. Like he can't control himself when you guys are playing.
Yeah,
so
the first time we played with you guys, he like, I think we were playing. It was actually the same song, and he like kind of went up to shove me and like almost knocked me on my ass.
yeah,
during
that's
mid-set.
Sorry,
he
man.
gets a little rowdy when
No,
he's
it's
drunk
cool,
and he has a good time. But
As long as-
somebody at the show didn't appreciate how much of a good time he was having because he bumped into him a couple times and
And shit just
then it just
Yeah.
like it all just snowballed from there. And
Well, yeah, but then-
I think like 7 people got thrown out like
Yeah.
right after
Well,
that. It was nuts.
I don't want to dwell on this too much because it's like we don't want to like highlight like, hey, like people fought.
Right.
But all I remember was I pulled up one of our friends who like always like checks us out when we play live. He like knew the words, and that's
Yeah.
insane to me. So like I just remember like signaling him to come up, and I gave him the mic, and I like kneeled by the kick drum when I'm not singing at all. So, and I turn around and I just see him getting pulled off by his shirt. And I was like, oh god.
It went out of control so fast, and here's the thing: like it's just all a big misunderstanding too. I don't think anybody was really mad at anybody. It just kind of, when alcohol's involved, tempers get flared a little bit, and
You know what the funniest thing about the whole night is? I'm not going to say on here where I work, but I started a job recently, and I work with someone who's in another band, and a bunch of people from where we work came to that show, and that was the first time they saw me in like a social setting. And I don't go to work and talk they'll ask me about myself, and I'll say stuff, but I don't like. I don't go to work. I'm like, oh, I play in this band, and I'm into fucking shit from 1999, and I like breakdowns. Like, I just go whatever. And so they're just coming like to, oh yeah, I played. They probably think we sound like, I don't know, some rock band. And then they come in like all week at work. You start fights, and I'm just like,
Yeah. So if you if we're in that environment ever again, don't do it, please.
yeah, no more fighting at the local show. It's stupid anyway.
That's why we can't play in Crown Point.
Yeah, that's why a lot of venues in this area got shut down is because people can't handle moshing. And
Well,
it turns to fighting and
people-
turns to property damage.
yeah, and liability and
Yeah.
insurance problems, and that's the crazy thing is like we're gonna track a new record this summer, and we wanted to do like a CD release show, but it's like we don't always want to play in a bar. Like Franklin House is sick,
Yeah.
and it's all our friends, and don't get me wrong, but like there are kids who are like 16, 17, 18, 19, getting into like I want to encourage.
I'm sorry. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
I want to encourage kids that are getting into playing local music or like coming to shows to do it because it's not as big of a thing.
Like when I was in high school, everyone was in a fucking band.
Yeah,
Everyone.
well, like all right, like for me, like I went to Crown Point, and you hung out with your friends by going home after school and having a band, and,
Right.
you sucked. Like it was bad, but that's what you did. You know what I mean? Like, and we all hung out and watched music videos and listened to whatever and start bands that sucked, and that was fun. And now when I see kids who are like high school age and they want to come to the shows and they're stoked and they're like, I don't want to be like, yeah, I want people to come to our show because I want them to watch us and have make money and stuff. I want them to come so they want to start bands because like at the end of
keep the scene going.
Yeah, like when you guys were doing the podcast about the local scenes, like to me, like how much fun is that to be involved and be able to talk? Yeah, and it's still fun. It's just it's not like it used to be.
It's sad that I can count with maybe not one hand, but I can count on two hands the amount of local bands we have active in the scene right now.
Right, like actually active.
Yeah.
Like making music.
Yeah, exactly. When back in the day, like the local scene, the time that we were talking about in that local scene episode, there were, dozens.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
well,
and all different styles, and it's like, I don't know. It's a shell of what it was before.
And it's like, like I said, I want to get a venue that's all ages. So, like, I don't care if people want to have a beer or whatever, that's fine. But, like, it's not really about not having alcohol. It's more about including people who are younger.
Right.
Because that's, like, how the scene stays alive. Like, you don't, look, I'm going to be 27 this year. You guys are already over 30.
Yeah.
There's people, you don't have to convince us to like music.
Right.
Like, that's, we've...
Jesus Christ. By the way, I apologize for all the dog noise. My basement flooded today, so we're recording in my kitchen. So that's why
sounds like 3 whole ass dogs.
I'm just warming up.
His DMX cover set.
it's so echoey in here, and the dogs are right next to us. So I apologize. I guess I should have said that at the top of the episode, but now we're 10 minutes in and we're dealing with it. So,
Who cares?
but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it is.
Everyone fucks with dogs.
It
audibly too.
I do think an all ages venue, or not just one. There needs to be more than one all ages venue to keep a good scene
in that
thriving.
same breath, when there's that all ages venue and we go hang out there, we're fucking weirdos.
Well, that's the other side of the coin, because we're getting to the age where it's not cool for us to be playing shows with high school kids anymore.
Maybe,
no,
but
not even close.
Maybe, but here's the thing, like, I don't even give a shit about an actual venue. Like, I like playing in a VFW hall.
Oh,
like,
I do
with
too.
the lights,
VFW and Legion shows are my favorite shows.
With the lights on the floor. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, don't get me wrong, it's cool when you go see a sick band and they're on tour and they're creating that atmosphere and like you're like, yeah, like this is the sickest. But like for me, it's like I don't need that. Like I have gear and my friends, and we're gonna set up wherever we can play.
We can play on a floor in a bright ass room.
Yeah.
One of the
100%.
one of the best shows I ever played in my life was at the Knights of Columbus Hall in Cedar Lake.
The cock.
It was.
Dude.
It was that venue was where it was at
That was
for
my
me.
favorite venue of
it's the
all
best.
time.
And I think I even said that in that episode.
We talk about this in every episode.
I know.
One of my favorite shows, and it wasn't because of the show, it's just because I remember, like, a memory is when I started going to local shows. Asteria was the band, right?
Yep.
And I was like in the 8th grade when I think they went to New York to record their CD. So I was like getting into going to local shows, and we're like, oh my god, this band from our city went and did a record in New York and whatever. And whenever they would do shows, like I live by the Four Seasons, so those shows were always packed.
Oh my god,
and
the
then,
clubhouse!
Yeah,
all
clubhouse.
fucking day, dude.
And then like the gym.
RDS?
in town.
RDS.
No, RDS and
On the Square.
on the square.
Oh my
And then,
god!
so
dude.
those were always like lit, right? But
I played at one of the 3 of those every weekend from like 2005 to 2007.
But for me, my favorite show, like memory, is they played at the Fine Arts Building on the.
With The Graduate and Caraway.
It wasn't that show, but I remember that show because I got.
That was at the Hall of Justice.
Yeah, that was Hall of Justice.
Jesus,
Because
that show was amazing. I love The Graduate.
I remember The Graduate, like their tall ass bass player was hanging out, and then I got a Caraway shirt at that show. That show was sick.
You had a picture on Facebook. You were wearing a Caraway
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, holy, you know who Caraway is?
Yeah, I was a little.
You're not even from here.
I was a little ass.
like Caraway
I was a little ass kid going to those shows, but the Fine Arts Building in the fairgrounds, right? And it was like,
oh yeah,
it was like a Friday or Saturday night.
I played a show with Stereo in the Fine Arts Building.
And there was nobody there because it might, like in town, like there might have been like a football game or something.
Mm-hmm.
And because remember, those types of kids did both back then. They went to the shows and they went to the game. It wasn't like as much of for stereo shows. They drew. And I'm at the show. There's nobody there. They play with 2 touring bands in them. The lights are on, and they were awesome. And I just remember being like, yeah, like this is like I want to do this. And I think like when you go see like your favorite band, and like you're like, yeah, I want to do this. But when you see people from your town and they're doing it and they're awesome, it feels more attainable.
Absolutely,
It feels more real. And like for me, like that's like I always talk about like my favorite bands and like why I wanted to be in music, inspired by these bands, whatever. But I think going to local shows is the real reason I was like, actually, I'm going to do this.
For sure.
And like we've all been in a bunch of bands and because of that since then.
So on that note, tell us a little bit about how Stoleaway started.
Stoleaway started kind of as a joke. Not like a joke, like to be funny, but like not serious at all. So we started in 2013, technically, and
that dog.
Yeah, my thirsty ass dog.
So
That's
we,
still Steve.
Yeah, it's me.
He just opened the bottle of gin.
Yeah.
You just his weird tongue slapping some liquid.
Yeah, I'm licking the bottle of gin.
So
This is a bowl of gin. Like I'm doing motions. You can't see them because
I was
we need the simulcast.
I was in a bunch. Yeah, that'd be sick actually. I was in a bunch of bands before that, like Set Sail and like Fast Food Kids and like some of those bands from the area. But at the time, I didn't have a band, and I kept trying to jam with friends. And people are kind of like, you jam with people, and they're good musicians, but they're just not into it. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. And my buddy Kyle Rod, I don't know if you guys know Kyle. He used to jam with Darren a lot. He's a good drummer. He hit me up one day. He records, and he was just like, "Hey man, like I got some new gear. I want to record. Will you come over and play on it? Because I'll do the drums, but I need someone to bring some songs." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So I played like a cheesy like hardcore song that I wrote, and like it was like, "Oh, this is cool. Let's do like an EP." So then I write 2 more, okay, and then I wrote like, he's like, "Let's do 4," and I wrote like a 4th one that was more melodic hardcore, like kind of like what we do now, and I just needed someone to sing. I'm not really a good screamer, so I'm like, "Hey, Steve, he kind of can scream. He's into that. He's never sang or been in a band. I'm like, you want to come over and sing on these?" And he did. And
the only prior experience was at Crown Point Foodstock 2013. He had a little ensemble band with him and people he was in bands with before, and they covered "Bulls on Parade" by Rage Against the Machine, and I did the chorus, like the rally around the family, like the yelling.
Yeah.
And someone else did the rapping parts and actually forgot all the lyrics. But I was just like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Like, at that point I was 17 and I would just stay at home and like watch live sets on YouTube of bands that I looked up to. So I was like, I'll just give it a shot. And my one flex ever for being on stage was when I did it, like it was cool, but then like one of my friend's girlfriends was like, "I thought you were gonna go up there and just totally embarrass yourself, but you were actually really good." And I was just like, that was kind of
that's pretty sick.
Yeah, I was like, that's like
Although at the same time, that's a 2-sided compliment because it's like,
oh yeah, she also told me I wasn't going into college and I have a degree and I'm in a band now. So how you doing?
Yeah. Hold out your ass, whoever you are.
Yeah. Well, that's one time I'll be a dick, I promise. But no.
No, dude, you nailed that.
But yeah,
I
went in and just yelled on some songs, and
so we have a demo that like you can find it online, but it's not like on Spotify because it's not like we don't play them. The song "Expendable," it's on one of our EPs. That's on there, and we retract it, but like it's not like a serious demo. It's like not like. It's us trying to be jokey, like, let's write a Trapped Under Ice song, and then, like, let's write a fucking Every Time I Die. Like, it's us just, like, having fun in a basement.
Then the lyrics aren't really reflective of, like, what we are now. They're, like, very straightforward. Except for that one, which I, like, wrote in a notebook and just happened to fit. Like, I got lucky. And then I was, like, looked at my more, I guess, ambiguous, metaphoric stuff, and we were just like, hey, let's
it's funny, like, so for me, I started playing in bands when I was like 13 or 14, and then I'm like at this point I guess 20, 21, and I'm like, oh, like 7 years later my little brother can sing. Now I have a bandmate.
Yeah, right.
So we started our band, but what was crazy is we could never find people to be in our band.
So we
started our
That's
band.
always the problem.
Our first release, that demo came out August of like 13, and our first show was in June of 16. And we released 3 EPs like in that span. So like me and him would keep going in and tracking and writing music, but we wouldn't have people to play with us. Like we would have people come jam and they wouldn't work out, or we could stuff like that.
So at this point, how many official Stoleaway releases do you have?
Okay, so if you go on Spotify, there's a CD. It's called "The Monument to My Sins."
Right.
That's a compilation.
Okay.
So there's 3 EPs on there, and that kind of was weird. We had a label from the UK who's just like a little DIY, like really cool, like hardcore label. They're called Mark My Words Records. Somebody from the band we're really big fans of called Renounced. They like found that and they sent it to the guy who's their buddy. His name's Patrick, and he messaged me and he's like, "Yo, like I like your band. I'd like to put out a CD. Like that's kind of like what I do with my label, and like I don't have any US bands." I was like, "All right, cool." So we, he wanted to do all of the EPs and just do like a new artwork for it all and stuff. So it's like newest to oldest, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 3 EPs there, and then there's a demo, and then there's some singles on Spotify, and those singles will probably get reworked into our record. So so there's like really we have three EPs, 1 demo, and then I guess 3 singles.
Okay, and your most recent release was last year, correct? When
we
released
Falling Through Space
Falling
in
Through
October.
I fucking love that song.
Thanks. You know what's funny? That was one of those songs where like I got new gear and then I plugged it in. I was like, "New gear day, I'm inspired," and I wrote it in like 5 minutes.
I've done that.
Like I bought a head and it came to me. I was like, "This is sick. I gotta fucking write something."
What head was it?
The 5153 that I play. It's just like one of those things where you get stoked on, you know, a new piece of gear, new tuning, whatever it is, and you're just like sick. So yeah, that worked out well.
So you said, how did you get connected with this place in the UK?
Well, real quick, the guy who ended up showing him to the record, like he said, he played guitar in a band called Renounced. He's no longer in the band, but named Sam Knight. I bought a shirt off of Renounced Big Cartel, and he was actually the one who mailed it to me.
Okay.
And then like I like messaged him like, "Hey, like thanks, like huge fan and all that." And I think because of that, maybe they might have found like the Bandcamp link in my Twitter or something.
Shit.
I don't know how the hell like
Sam's like really into like looking for new music though. Yeah. And I think we all kind of come from that when the internet was like MySpace and you can find music. So he goes on and he like, I mean, he talks to me online and like we're buddies and he sends me bands to check out and it's like a Bandcamp link and I'm like, oh, cool.
it was just an insane thing that happened. We're really thankful for it.
So the fact that this UK label showed interest actually totally makes sense to me because I think I've talked to you about this before. The first time I heard you guys, I thought you sounded real similar, like style wise, to this band called Heights, which I'm sure you probably still haven't looked up Heights yet, have you?
No, you told me to check it out.
Yeah, they're UK.
I only listen to John Mayer anymore, so
dude,
they're UK melodic
John
hardcore.
Mayer fucking rips, dude. I don't give a fuck who knows it.
But your sound it's very reflective of that UK melodic hardcore sound. You know,
you know what? Like
Vacant Home style. Even I don't know if you're in Vacant Home
so much.
Did we play with?
Y'all play with Vacant Home? They're from Australia, I think.
No, hell no. Are
they from Australia? I was thinking they were from UK.
I heard Heights and I thought Endless Heights for a minute, but they're like an emo rock band.
Okay.
I think like our style for me is weird because like I love like melodic hardcore, metalcore, like whatever. Like I love Misery Signals, Poison the Well, It Dies Today, like old like Trust, Kill, and Ferret stuff.
I saw Misery Signals like last year, and it was
they were probably the sickest thing ever.
Was it
insane.
Was it that festival in Iowa?
Yeah.
Fuck, I wanted to go.
Dude,
so bad.
with Dead Hands Rising, my all-time favorite band, and
podcast regular.
when I
seriously, every episode we've ever recorded, you just talk.
There's gonna be a
I love with Dead Hands Rising.
There's gonna be a Patreon episode where you have to donate money just to hear Chris talk about them like for like an hour by himself.
Well, we can wax poetic about that era of metalcore, but I'm just gonna put it out there now, and it's like if you know me, you know this, but like I'm the totally derivative of Counterparts, and like I only know Ms. Sig's Poison the Well because of like them being like, hey, this is who we're influenced by. So like my favorite band and the bands that they were influenced by, it's like I get it now.
Yeah, I have I mean I'm the person in the band who's written all the music, and so like I think like and you guys will be able to pick this out. Probably more so Larry because I come from like pop punk and punk rock. So it's like for me like when you brought up Bad Religion like Grey Race, I'm like yes, absolutely, 100%. Or like Lagwagon or fucking like I mean my favorite band of all time is Blink-182 and I love Newfound Glory and whatever. But then like when I started getting into bands that weren't just like punk rock and pop punk, it was like Silverstein and then fucking Parkway Drive and then you know, so I'm so all over the place with like as long as it's like aggressive and big and fast and melodic, then I'm like, yes.
I love that you guys can get as aggressive and heavy, and you guys can get insanely heavy, but it's always very musical and very melodic.
I appreciate it
all the time. It's incredibly
Thank
musical,
you.
but incredibly heavy.
I think
It's perfect.
I come from I come from this weird place where I never, even though I grew up in Crown Point in the era that I did, I don't like deathcore. You know, like,
and the era that you grew up in Crown Point,
it was
it was made of deathcore.
Okay, so I don't like
it was made of deathcore.
I like
gym shorts.
Yeah, well, I like mosh shorts.
Guys
but,
jump roping in the pit.
like, okay,
Or
Did that happen?
Yeah,
like let me
not real jump. That was like how
The
that was.
move.
That
Pretend
was the
jump
move.
roping.
Yeah, that was the
like
move.
real jump
in the-
roping. Oh man, that's
yeah.
fucking dangerous. That's
Yeah,
tight.
or the jogging in place. That was a big
Well, yeah, I
deathcore
remember
thing.
that. That's
And
always
then
been
jump
around,
rope.
but
I like
Now it's the half
I
stutter
like
kick.
I like impending
really
doom.
is.
Like old
Impending
Impending Doom, and like I
good
like
shit.
the first couple of Mirror releases. That's more metalcore when they were like younger.
Do I like any deathcore? You'd know this.
No,
But like
Okay,
to
no,
me,
no.
so like I
I like
think
a mirror.
I think for me it's like
First Mirror
a lot
record.
of that stuff when I was getting
Like,
into new music, like
Face down.
and not listening to like whatever your parents like listen to. You know, when you're like a kid.
My mom loves deathcore.
Yeah, right. My mom has Impending Doom on her iPod because of Steve buying it on her iTunes.
I bought Baptized in Filth when we shared when we shared an iTunes account. So
And
I was
like
15.
she was like going crazy. I'm like, no, it's cool, Mom. It's Christian. And she's just like, oh, okay.
I just think it's cool that your mom has an iPod.
Yeah. No, like
it's all like Serbian torrent music,
No, it's
and
got
then
an
it'll
iPod
be
anymore.
like
fucking like like
what's the one song? Angry Letters to God.
so. But yeah, so like for me, I think like when I was getting into new music and like getting into my own music, I was also learning how to play guitar, and a lot of like deathcore and stuff when you're
I'll put a little take a shot.
when you're younger, it's hard to follow musically. Like
Yeah.
if you don't like when you're learning how to play.
those dissonant chords are.
And just like chug patterns and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, like getting into heavier music, I always like stuff like the first Parkway Drive record, so like melodic, but then it's so heavy. Or like
Me too.
I love For Those Who Have Heart by Day to Remember. Like that's my favorite Day to Remember
Dude.
CD.
The
It's all over
like,
Stoleaway.
The thing I'm so ashamed of about anything about what I listen to musically is how much I like A Day to Remember. It is so hard to say it out loud.
You know what? It's
But
like
God
It
damn
shouldn't
it.
be though.
You know
it
what?
shouldn't
They're
be.
a great band.
It really
I-
shouldn't.
There's a reason why they're as big as they are.
The
it's
reason
because
it's
they're
hard-
good.
They are fucking huge.
I went to see them at USC last year
That
with
was
like
nice.
10,000 people, and the only thing that I didn't like was their fans.
Yeah.
They were sick.
No, they're but again, it's just testament to how much they do deserve where they need to be. Is that the fact that it's like. This is like a shitty internet thing to say, but it's like, it's like people who call it a concert, not a show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true though.
Yeah.
It's a very valid thing.
Let me say this though, like I don't mean to call out kids like fuck their fans. That sounds shitty. But what I mean is like
No, you can. Say
it's really sick that A Day to Remember probably got so many people to go to their first show of like a guitar band, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't like and these are probably kids who haven't even ever gone to like Warped Tour, right? I mean that's how broad their audience is,
Right.
But the
They
problem,
cover everything.
but the problem I have with it, it's nothing to do with the band. It's just the fact that a lot of people don't take away of like, oh well, I like A Day to Remember. Maybe I should check out these bands and then
Right.
It's just like no, I'm only gonna go when A Day to Remember comes, and I like don't care. And it's like I think that like this kind of internet mindset has sunken into where it's like when I was growing up. There was the internet, but you used it to look for bands, and it was sick. It was like MySpace. Like you'd sit on MySpace and you'd find all these bands, and then you see who's in who's top 8, and then you, who are they on tour with? And then like when I'd go to those shows, like we were talking about that Asteria Graduate Caraway show. When I'd go to those shows, I'd buy CDs.
That's
For sure.
I can't remember if we've talked about this on the podcast before, but I feel like just the accessibility of how much music you have access to now has also ruined local shows. Because back when I was going to local shows, it was like so you could find them on MySpace or whatever, and maybe they'd have a track or two online.
You couldn't listen to
But
the whole discography.
You could, yeah, exactly. You couldn't get all their music. You had to go to a show and get their CDs or get their demo tapes or whatever, or just go to the show and hear them, because sometimes that was the only way you could hear them. Maybe they'd have a live track on MySpace or something, and you were like,
shit.
"Oh man, it sounds like shit," but you're like, "This band sounds like they could be really good," so you go and check them out.
It's a double-edged sword though, because a a lot of my weekends in high school, instead of like, there wasn't really much of a local scene when I was in high school, but like, I remember fondly of like weekends on my junior year, I would just be like binging on like blog spots and band camps,
Right.
just finding bands who were like decently big now. Like I remember finding like the first Being as an Ocean music video, and they're like a pretty decent.
Yeah,
They're huge now.
I think
Yeah.
to add to your point about, and I'm sorry if we're getting off topic.
Oh no, there is no topic.
To about,
we go wherever
like
we go wherever we
talking
need to
about
go.
my band.
it's fine.
Fucking like talking about like CDs. Like you couldn't go on someone's, not just MySpace. There wasn't anywhere to like listen to that, even
Yeah.
before iTunes, right?
Yeah, there was like
So-
hardcoremp3.com and there was-
HXCMP3.com was the shit.
But
Like 2001 and shit.
So my
All day, I
my
love
cousin, I have an older
Pure volume.
a cousin who's a little bit older than me,
Mr.
Kim,
Boyle.
and she's a guitar player too, and she got me into like music and playing guitar a little bit more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like she showed me Mark, Tom, and Travis show when that came out, and I was like 8, and my life was over.
yeah.
I
So
wish that Blink could put on a show live that sounds like that record.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Because that's the best
That's-
live recording.
that's the reason I
ever.
wanted
and
to-
that is the worst show you've ever seen.
but to my point, so me and her, we would buy CDs or burn CDs from people at school, and then every week at church we would trade CDs.
Oh, that's
And like,
sick.
Hell yeah.
and it was
That's
like,
sick.
like, and it was like,
trading.
yeah, but no, seriously, and like, it's funny because like we're sitting there in like church, but like we're trading like fucking, you know, just the most rad music, like, and it was first like, you know, Blink and Green Day, and like the first All American Reject CD when that came out, she had the first.
That's a great album.
She had the first, like when My Chem first came out, and I'm not really a My Chem fan, but when they first came out, Fall Out Boy, like old Fall Out Boy, sickest shit ever.
Oh, the first two Fall Out Boy
Yeah.
albums are
Yeah, I can't fuck with
perfect.
Fall Out Boy anymore. That place in my heart now goes to Jimmy Eat World, but that's another podcast that me and Larry could probably talk about for 2 hours.
Real quick,
Super true.
Before it gets too down the line to where it's no longer relevant in the conversation, going back, no,
too late.
Yeah,
Too late.
no, too late.
Stoleaway.
I'm cut off. No, I'm not even talking about our band. Going back to A Day to Remember, you have to understand that they're still the perfect gateway band, and they were the gateway band for me because
They really are.
They are.
First for me it was Killswitch Engage because
Oh my god.
Killswitch
and
is
it was
another perfect
it was
gateway
because
band.
it was because it was CM Punk's theme song when I was watching wrestling when I was a kid. But
Was it really?
yeah, no, them and Rise Against, and I got them both from WWE,
fucking love Rise Against,
which
too.
is a really
Love
weird
Rise
story.
Against.
Rise Against.
That's
Old Rise Against.
such a weird place to like find your music, and like now everyone fucks with wrestling and I don't, but it's whatever.
What's the correlation with hardcore music and wrestling?
I don't know.
Acting
ECW, I guess, but real quick,
kidding.
A Day to Remember was a gateway band for me in 2009, and they're a gateway band now, so respect. And when I got a
Word.
bass, I learned a bunch of A Day to Remember songs first, so
Yeah.
they're
That's a real good point. That's a
They're-
real
But
good
you
point.
gotta
Fantastic
look
gateway
at
band.
A Day to Remember. The reason they're so good is because they love like Seven Star, but then they love Finch. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
I fucking love both of those bands so much.
well, the first, like the Finch.
That's why I'm in a band that sounds like A Day to Remember.
What it is to burn is like, so if you like, if you get deep enough into
Dude, go ahead.
Stolaway,
There's so much- go ahead.
you'll hear Finch ripoffs. Like
Yeah.
I love What It Is to Burn. So the record after I don't give a fuck
Well,
about.
after
but
that, I pretend Finch didn't
they
exist
died
anymore.
Yeah, they went where Fall Out Boy went.
Frank prefers "Say Hello to Sunshine" over "What It Is
Yeah,
to
but
Burn."
Frank-
Well,
Frank also-
he also prefers The Current Will Carry Us for Counterparts albums, and they've blown that out of the water 3
and he
times
pays
already.
his fingernail.
We love you, Frank.
Yo, Frank, there's some girl at work and like she asked me about Frank and I said something about Frank and like, oh, I'm gonna go like over and help him out and she goes, oh, is that goth guy?
The goth guy.
I was like, yeah. So I'm like, Frank, you're goth.
I mean, like
now.
he wears like head to toe, long ass, like
Long ass teeth.
tight black dresses,
Long
with
ass
like
teeth.
makeup and like. I mean,
Respect.
in a nutshell, I would say Frank is goth.
We love him.
Frank,
though.
Yeah.
yeah,
Please sing on our record.
yeah. No, Frank's my
I adore
fucking.
Frank. I talk to Frank every day.
I love Frank. I'm just saying, like, I thought that was funny to hear somebody who I don't want to say like normie, but that's basically
Well, sure, just
like
like-
normie, like be like, oh, is that the goth guy? And I'm just like, because to me, I think of Frank and I think of Low Country and I think of Every Time I Die, and then I think of hardcore and fucking Hellfest 2000, and then I think of fucking Trustco Records, and then I go
I
down
went
a
to
fucking
Hellfest
ADD
2001.
rabbit hole.
Dude,
Whoa,
those,
you were at that?
Nope.
I was gonna say, what the hell?
dude, those Hellfest DVDs were
We were
where it was
We were
at.
just watching the 2001 Hellfest, and
I wanted to though.
I do this
Those are
thing
so-
like
those were so sick.
you guys have seen us enough to know where it's like we were talking about not doing the whole atmosphere thing with like playing with the house lights on, but I'm just, you know, if you're a lyricist in a metalcore band, you're extra and dramatic. So like I'll do the thing where I'll scream without the microphone.
Oh yeah.
And the singer from Poison the Well did it, and I'm just like, well, it all makes sense now.
Yo, speaking of the internet and like Hellfest DVDs, because like that's where I was able to watch them later.
Yeah,
it is cool that people are starting to upload shit that's never been seen now. Like there's just a Mystics video just went up from 2002 in a basement house show, and they're like, sorry we missed the show. There was a big car accident, so we missed the actual show. Hopefully the police don't come shut us down. And it's like someone with a VHS recorder,
and half the set is like 7A7P songs.
Yeah,
like,
so it's their extra sick.
It's their self-titled EP and then 7 Angel 7 Plague songs.
I love 7 Angel.
Yeah,
y'all are the fucking cool dudes.
So 7A7P is like another band that we like kind of jock, and like we love like Matt Mixon and all his shit going on too. So like we're like those weird guys who like we're older than the kids coming to shows, but we're young enough to where we missed out on that shit when it was going on.
We were there,
but we like dug it up anyway.
I don't think we were.
Dude, I can't flex on a lot, but I
can.
can take my oldness and flex about how I was at some shows. Man, I've seen some shit.
Well, 7 Angels 7 Plagues was only around till what, like 2001 or something.
No, I saw 7 Angels 7 Plagues with Zayo in 2001.
Holy
2001.
Give me a fucking break.
Well, so,
I've seen Zayo like 12 times.
Was that
at Cornerstone and
where
shit.
where Fire and Blood Bring Rest era?
Didn't Zayo just release a new single?
I think so.
No,
like, they still play. They just did like a rig rundown, and I was all into it. And then I remembered they don't really use that much shit. They're just a sick band.
I so want to rip the thing like how they open that record where like he's whispering over the tom part, but like I'll just sound.
Dude, that's the most like Godsmack shit though.
It's so hard though. I just can't pull it
It's
off.
funny though what you said about going to shows, because like I was just hanging out. So our friend Nina, she takes photos of us a lot. We were at her house, and it was like a bunch of friends, and they're all like, I'm like the oldest person there, and most of them are like 21-ish, right? And I'm not that much older than them, but we were talking about shows, and I'm like listing off all these shows, and someone's like, damn, like you were at, they're like, I thought I went to a lot of shows. And I'm like, it kind of just like adds up, and you don't realize when you're at a show, like one day I'm going to talk about this, and it's like going to be the sickest thing I ever went to. I mean, like I played with enough bands that I'm like, oh my God, I wish I was more into them then. Like, the first time I ever saw Counterparts, and it's almost probably 20 times, I played with them in Portage in that bowling alley during a blizzard.
Camelot Bowl?
Yeah. So my band was Set Sail at the time.
20 times?
Almost.
I don't think I've ever seen.
We went to their CD release in Canada 2 years ago.
They're so like they've been.
You're probably Newfound's probably close.
I've seen NFG like 18 times.
No, it's like they've been my all-time favorite band. So like. I've only since they've been playing shows in Chicago, I've only missed them twice.
I think but to that point, like we played this show in Portage. It was my old band Set Sail, which is kind of like an epilogue to. They're kind of the 7A7P of Stoleaway, you know. Like it's very similar music, but we kind of. I like what we're doing now, of course, but.
That was better.
No.
No, I'm just joking.
No, man, Stolaway's the best band around here. I know that.
No, you guys all like Low Country better. Don't talk shit.
I said on the fucking.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
My favorite band
I'm just messing with you.
There's some bands from around here that I fucking like a lot.
I'm just messing with you. But that show,
just make it uncomfortable.
No, I don't get uncomfortable. Trust me.
Low Country are the most talented band to come out of this area.
No, dude, Vulturous.
Well, okay, respect. But I was like,
hey, can you cut something out if I say it?
Remember that
about this show, like we played this show, and it was like one of those things where it's like I was into Counterparts, but they only had one record, and they were like a year older than me at the time, right?
Right.
Oh well, still are, but like we're like kids, and then it was like them and Shai Hulud was the headliner, and Close Your Eyes. And Shai Hulud like is like our worship. We're our Shai Hulud worship.
Do you know
band.
what I saw in 2000?
Okay.
Shai Hulud
with Chad. Was it awesome?
No, I was whack.
Really?
Well, I was like fucking 12 or some shit. So I'm like,
Shai Hulud was at that Take Action tour 2000.
Yes, they were. And like, when I was 12, I only liked fucking like Slick Shoes and Lagwagon. And I saw that. I'm like, what?
Shai Hulud to me is responsible for like pretty much all the bands that sound like Stoleaway sounds like. If it wasn't for them,
all the Florida bands, honestly.
Yeah, like Strong Arm and Shai Hulud.
I like fucking like Face Down Records kind of shit.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for that, like everybody would just sound like Bulldoze, which is sick. But like that's just the 219. Like, and I'm not again. This isn't me shit talking. You don't have to cut this out. But there's like a huge there was like a hardcore like kind of revival. where it was like straight hardcore and like slam and stuff. And now hardcore is kind of just like more metalcore, like Vane and what's the other band that sounds like Vane kind of? They're sick though. That's out right now.
No one really sounds like Vane. They kind of do their own thing. And like from that scene though.
Yeah.
Sanction
and Vane. And, like,
I love Sanction.
Those bands are sick, but they sound more metalcore. Whereas like, but before that, like a lot of these bands in the area, it was like hardcore, and like that's sick too. But like, I think you need to have a mix because if everybody sounds the same, it's just like who gives a fuck. And I think that's another thing that like I like about our band, your guys' band. You know, we play mixed bill shows, and it's sick.
For sure.
Yeah, the cool thing is that even though there's only like 5 bands now in this area that play semi-regularly, they all sound different and they're all very cool. So
yeah, and they all like fit. I think even though it's mixed genre shows, I think everybody sounds cool on a lineup together.
Yeah,
you know, it brings out a good crowd,
Like,
and everybody
specifically,
appreciates
our
it.
band and your band can jump on pretty much any show.
Yeah, well, and like the thing to me, I think that makes it cool is like we're fans of each other's bands because we all like different kinds of music. Like I was playing. The last show we played was in Mishawaka a couple weeks ago, and we played with Spineless Heartless opened on that show.
Great band.
And they're friends of ours too. But like,
Spineless is a great band.
Yeah, they had that kind of old, brand new kind of sound, which is sick. Like more pop punky though.
Sure.
But they're really talented, and probably more talented than
their songwriting.
They're such a good
amazing.
band.
Josh is just like a music. He's insane with music.
The song they're about to put out, which I heard early because I was kind of doing artwork for a minute, but I don't know.
Some nice dogs.
Anyways, that's me.
They dropped a shirt that I never saw. I saw it folded in a box, and I just saw like a corner of it where Mike and Steve did that, didn't you?
Yep, Helvetica. Helvetica.
I saw a square,
baby.
and I saw Helvetica. I'm like,
design weirdos.
I bet he did.
Dude, we'll have to do a whole a podcast on
Helvetica.
Yeah, I'm sorry we're late because I want this podcast to be like 5 hours long. Chris is going to tell me to shut up. But
no, keep going.
But
keep going.
What's sick?
Keep going. I'm gonna pee, but I'll be quick.
You're fine. But what I was saying, what's sick is like we play with them, and I'm all like, yo, like songwriting, like that's what I'm paying. Like, and they sound really good live. But then we're playing, and then after that, Josh comes up to me and he's talking, oh man, you guys' tones match so good, and blah blah. Like, I think it's cool because the one thing I didn't like growing up playing shows was like a lot of times there were no mixed bills, and people kind of didn't have beef, but they were like standoffish. Like, like I was in a pop punk band, and we were playing with like more like the deathcore stuff, and a lot of people wouldn't fuck with us.
Yeah.
Until do you remember 789 who became Corruptor? So Jake was one of my good friends. He like met me and was like, I'm gonna put your band on shows. And we're like, cool. And we were like, it would be us and like 4 like deathcore bands. And we sounded kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it, kind of like Newfound Glory. Like pop punk. Like we were chunky, like, you know, riffy, like whatever. We weren't like light, but we were pop punk. And they just, maybe like the Singy A Day to Remember songs. Mm-hmm. And like, they were just like, we're going to put you on. And it took a long time for people to fuck with us. So I think I learned early on, like, I don't want to be like that.
Right.
So like, that's why like people might be like, oh, you're in a heavy band. It's like, yeah, but like, who gives a fuck?
Right. That's one thing that.
I hope you can like hear my pee through the mic.
We heard you like slamming toilet lids and shit.
What? I don't want to talk about toilets. You guys know, real quick, you guys want to know how my day started today?
Kinda.
Sure. Let's go with it.
I think toilets are involved, so I'm hella curious.
I was trying to listen to John Mayer, and as I flushed the toilet, one of my AirPods fell out and flushed down the toilet today.
First world motherfucking problems. Like the most,
so,
like the first
I had like 150
But wait, but AirPods don't fall out.
Dude, it fell out.
Dude, they just fall out. Have you ever used an Apple headphones at all?
Yo, that's the meme, isn't it? That's the meme. The AirPod users always want to tell people about how they don't fall out.
Yeah, no, Mill has waves now. He bought AirPods.
Yeah, so like mine normally don't fall out. The reason I bought them is because the Apple ones fit my head really good.
Okay.
I'll have more gin.
But I got
the weirdest ears ever.
Yeah, no, I do. Like,
because like Apple headphones don't fit nobody.
No, they fit me good. Like, look how weird my. So, anyways,
I think yours are tight.
Thanks, man. My in-ears when Stoleaway gets on in-ears, they're just gonna cut off 2 Apple, like regular Apple earpods and put them in there.
We're all gonna have waves.
Yeah, it'll be sick and like chains.
My chain. I'm bummed, dude. My chain was dope.
I mean, I just got my Jesus piece, like, you know. But anyways. Oh, respect.
Maybe I ain't even talking to you.
But so like, you know, that happened to me today, and I was just like, it was one of those things where I was just like, I was so bummed, but I couldn't even dwell on it. I'm like, you know what? I deserve this. And then I fucking
Dude, word.
And then I just fucking like went and had a bowl of cereal. I was like, fuck.
What
Realistically,
cereal,
too, at the,
Rice Krispie treats.
oh,
right.
Rice Krispie treats cereal.
Dude, not just the regular Rice Krispies.
Yeah,
with
treats,
just clusters
chunks,
of.
yeah.
Dude, I'm on a
Rice Krispies
diet.
and
So,
sugar.
all that shit sounds so good.
I'm on a diet too,
Fire.
but my one cheat food is like cereal.
Well, see, if you could only eat one cereal ever again in your life,
Cookie
y'all,
Crisp.
think about it.
So
No, Waffle Crisp.
I said, think
Do you
about
remember
it.
Waffle
You're just
Crisp?
yelling out cereals.
No, Waffle Crisp.
Rice Krispie treats is my
Do they still make
favorite.
that?
No, I don't think so.
Rice Krispie treats is my favorite, but you know what I've been eating a lot now is that honey made s'mores.
Turn.
Is that
on.
good?
It's awesome. It's like Golden Grams with Cocoa Puffs and marshmallows, but it has like a s'mores sprinkly flavor.
Oh my
on it.
God.
It's so fucking good. But I do
Is
fuck
Rex
with
is open?
I do fuck with Captain Crunch because it doesn't get soggy.
I was gonna say I think.
But
I
it
would,
tears up the roof of your mouth.
It does. It's like once a week
Yeah.
type
I,
shit.
you
You
know,
can't eat that every day.
Here's the deal. Life is pain, so you go with crunch berries.
Okay.
I
that's
honestly
fair.
think honestly
Dude,
though,
chest tat. Dead
Go-
ass. I'm serious.
go with crunch
Life is
berries.
pain, go with crunch berries.
but no. In all
Just crunch berries in big letters.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
one
Old English.
day we're gonna be like a real big band, and people are gonna be digging this up to listen to us talk, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck were they talking
Crunch
about?"
berries.
Cereal, bro.
The explanation is that I'm drinking a Hall's cough drop right now. Which is just
Me and Steve have been putting a hurting on a decently large bottle of Costco gin.
Yeah, dude,
Shout
that-
out Cunch.
and I've been mixing it with the energizing black cherry.
I've been
That
chasing
bottle
it
was
with
very
fucking
full when-
water. Dude, dead ass, his bottle was this full.
I'm
It was
sorry.
very full when you guys started, so.
But you know what's my number one cereal? Maybe food, not food. That's a huge fucking statement. Retract that shit. You know what my number one favorite cereal ever, no matter what?
What?
Reese's motherfucking Puffs.
Reese's Puffs?
That's
That's pretty good.
I would also say honorable mention to Cookie Crisp, which I'm glad it's back because they pulled it for a while.
They
Dude.
did. It was like, remember when Twinkies got pulled?
Yeah,
They
but
stopped
that only
manufacturing
lasted like a
Twinkies
month,
for a while?
and people were buying them on eBay for like $100
Yeah,
a
because
box,
Twinkies are fucking Christ-like
and then
shit,
they
dude.
came
It's
back like a
dope.
couple months
You
later.
know what I really like?
I mean, the Twinkies, the cast.
It was a limited edition cereal, but
It was so insane.
one of my favorite cereals ever. It was like called Cupcake Pebbles.
What?
And it
Elaborate a lot. Did
so-
you guys
Yes.
both go, what?
So like this is like probably
that.
yeah, it was like maybe like 7 or 8 years ago. Around I probably ate it the day I went to that show that you were at the Beat Kitchen, and it was like it was Pebbles, and they're kind of like a vanilla-y like birthday cake kind of flavor.
Wait, did you say Cupcake Pebbles?
Yeah.
Either Cupcake
Dude,
Pebbles
it comes up like Google
Or-
recognizes what
is
you're
it? It's
trying
like
to
it's a teal box, right?
100%.
It's got Pebbles and Bam Bam on the front.
Yeah, it was so good.
Dude, they're just around this Mondo ass cupcake. And when dude, I never thought about Pebbles and Bam Bam bodies like 70% head.
Oh yeah,
Like some
but that's
misshapen
like
motherfucking
real kids though. That's real
Those
kids.
are so
like-
fucking good. Like
Rugrats too, man.
I was
Fred Durst?
fucking buying those up like
Yeah,
crazy.
we have one of the first stickers we ever put out. It said "Get by."
I have
India,
that.
And it had a picture of Fred Durst and said "India" or
I have-
1999 Indiana rap metal.
I have that sticker. It's not, yeah, but I didn't put it on my guitar because it didn't fit that. You know where my Get By sticker is on my guitar. It's like up on the horn.
It's on the.
Yeah,
that
I have
microphone,
that.
too.
It's got like the graffiti font.
Oh yeah, there's the rest of it. Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Oh yeah, it says y'all.
But is waffle
Indiana rap metal established 1999, y'all.
is Waffle Crisp still a thing?
No, remember a moment ago when we covered
Yeah,
that?
I know, but no, I didn't know if we were official. That's
I'm
where
being
we're-
like a dick about it. I could be fucking wrong,
that's
too.
where we're,
If-
we're landing. It's
Is
not
there
a real
any
thing
other
anymore.
breakfast food that you severely fuck with that's not cereal?
French toast.
Word.
Hash browns.
Hash
You know
brown,
what? Like,
corn beef.
Dude,
hash,
I'm
corn
simple,
beef,
just
I'm-
hash.
bacon and eggs, man.
I'm a
Bacon and eggs.
vegetarian,
Yeah.
but I eat eggs and
Same.
seafood, so I'm like a pescatarian. Like I'm like a
Pescatarian sounds like a branch of Christianity.
Well, vegetarians
That's kind of
still,
sick,
my
though.
denomination.
vegetarians still eat eggs, right? Just
no,
not.
vegans don't eat eggs.
Vegans don't eat
Yeah,
eggs,
so
but I think
basically, I
vegetarian-
just don't eat meat, but like I fuck. Besides meat, I fuck with everything breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, this is gonna sound weird. Don't hate me. I don't love biscuits and gravy.
What you mean?
Well, okay, well, time out. That makes sense though, because
no,
if
we
you,
don't.
if, yes,
you ever had
yes,
biscuits and gravy?
no, shut up for a second. Because if you don't eat meat, then the sausage gravy's out. So you just get that sawmill gravy that's just flour and pepper and cream and shit.
Yeah.
That's not good. It's
And-
got to have sausage in it for it to be good biscuits and
yeah,
gravy.
and
Did they make like tofu crumble?
Respect.
I've had
Yes,
vegan biscuits
okay.
and gravy
Fair
and
enough.
ground control.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Oats
so,
Spread.
like-
it's fire.
So like when we have to play a show, I go to Taco Bell and get like everything sub beans, and then I have to take a
Dude,
huge
you
shit
get
while I'm
the
playing.
$1 potato taco.
Yeah, sometimes
Steady,
those
get
are
that.
those are good, but like I really love getting like something unhealthy and then just getting beans instead. So like getting like 2 like fucking chalupas or gorditas or cheesy gordita crunch and just fucking putting nacho cheese on top and going nuts. But I can't eat like that anymore because I'm trying to not be fat.
I don't fuck with eggs in any way, shape, or form.
I love eggs.
Yeah, me
hate
too.
eggs.
I buy 5 dozen from Costco in a box.
I
at a
cannot
time.
be in this distance of someone eating a hard-boiled egg. I have to leave the room.
I used to hate I grew up hating hard-boiled eggs. I just started eating them like a year and a half ago, and now they're one of my favorites.
I think it's important that I do like eggs though because I can't only have soy protein because it can fuck you up. So like
Yeah.
I eat soy and like tofu and stuff, but like I like a lot of like seitan is good, but like eggs, peanut butter, beans, but like I also think like if you prepare stuff the right way. God, this is turning into like Rachel Ray. If you like prepare stuff the right way,
I could go on like this all
I'm not
night.
about
like
food, man.
we would like experiment because he's on the same diet as me. Well, he does like meat wise. So we were buying like B-dub sauces and making shit, and it just tastes like you're at B-dubs. It's like just the sauce. It doesn't matter if it's.
Am I like the only dude that doesn't fuck with eggs ever?
Yeah, the only one in the world.
I remember-
Andy Reid now.
Like what?
Andy Reid's
2.5
because he's
years ago,
vegan.
me and Greg
He's
were on
Rachel
first
Ray
date,
now.
and I'm like, hey dude, tell me
cooking.
something crazy about you that most like that's nuts. And he's like, I hate eggs, and I was like,
Who said that?
on me and Greg's first date, he goes, I hate eggs, and I'm like,
Meant to be.
Like you're like fucking.
and I'm like, you know what?
Meant to be.
Fucking
Me too.
3 years later, I'm
so
like,
cute.
that's the only thing we got going on. We both hate motherfucking eggs.
I
Hey, at
mean,
least
at
you
least
got
it's
that.
something.
We'll always have eggs.
And dude, like that's something we talk about super regularly.
When people
Like,
ask,
you ever see like a fire ass looking omelet with like spinach and broccoli?
Yeah, and I
veggies
eat that
and I'm
shit.
like, I fucking want that. I'm like, it is all just a blanket of eggs, and you're garbage for eating it.
someone asked me that recently, like, what's something like weird about yourself, and this is a dead serious answer, but I was like, I have a Back to the Future 2 tattoo.
Where? Let me see it.
it's
not like on your
no, it's on my
ass
leg.
or something, right?
No, it's on my leg.
Okay.
Specifically Back to the Future 2, and you'll see why. If you can see that.
Oh no shit!
I don't recognize that, but I recognize the 30 Blink tattoos.
I see the Power Rangers too. That's
I also
Dude,
never
those
knew that your
lines-
leg was tatted.
dude. Those lines are clean as fuck on that thing.
Yeah.
Who did that?
You got that much on your leg?
Kevin Cole and Brother.
I actually
Kevin
have
Cole,
no
yeah.
tattoos.
Yeah, shout him out. Shout him out. Where's he?
Kevin Cole, he is in Umbrella Inc. and Valpo.
Umbrella
He did
Inc. and
pretty
Valpo?
much most of all of my stuff, yeah.
Make sure you, when we post this, make sure you tag him in the comments because that is nice line work, man.
Thanks, yeah, he did a bunch of, I'll show you guys later.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can,
that's
like,
sick.
actually roll up.
That's
But yeah,
sick.
so like that's something weird about me because it's funny. I'm not a huge movie person. Like I like
do weird shit about everybody. This is fun.
I like
I know, this is-
I like movies that like
Fuck music.
but, like,
This is more fun.
I have a really hard time like you guys. I don't know. You guys love music too, so you'll probably relate to this. Sometimes it's hard to get into a newer band until you listen to it and like, all right, whatever. But when you like fuck with an album, you just like, yep, I can listen to the whole record front to back.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have a hard time getting myself to sit still to watch a movie.
I don't
Depending
have
on
that
the
problem
movie.
at all.
But really, when it comes to movies, I watch the same 10 movies.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my
Like,
problem.
Like I've only seen 10 movies.
well, I
my-
just want
my
to watch
problem-
Seinfeld all the time.
Yeah, that's
so
My
it's like-
problem is when I watch 10 minutes of a movie, I have to sit and watch the rest. I can't stop thinking about it until I watch the rest
I watch
of
10
it.
minutes of this movie and I'm like, you know what? I've never seen this.
But
I'm not watching
But
it.
Back to the Future is like my shit, and I just
I've never seen back any of them.
I'm just too lazy to. I have such a bad problem. Here's the deal: I'll go out of my way to look through a bunch of obscure bands, and it paid off in the end because it's like some of my favorite bands were like either before my time or just like bands that are a little under the radar, just never toured a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But with watching stuff, it's like my problem is it's like I have a giant list of shit I have to like watch, and then I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna watch The Wedding Singer and Cowboy Bebop, and then
You
that's
tweeted
it.
that wedding singer thing the other day and I was so hyped.
With me.
Yeah.
What was it?
No, it was me. No, we were at this wedding.
One of you said like,
You see,
I hate the bride, I hate
Oh,
the groom,
I
want to
see.
be miserable because that's what I am. And I was like, squad!
I had to, and fun fact. Speaking of gin, I had 9 of them without eating, and we didn't leave.
Well, that's an issue.
I didn't leave on my own legs, but
You got different legs like Lieutenant Dan.
yeah, no, they were.
I've seen that movie.
They replaced them. They're sick now. I'm shorter by 5 inches.
Yeah, the other day he was 7 foot tall.
Now he's only 6'7".
Now I'm only 6'7".
6 foot.
I almost said
8 foot,
6'5".
man.
Yeah, we were just watching Beetlejuice
I'm
before you
close
guys
to
got here.
6'5".
I was doing a little Wayne, bro.
All right, so like I just want to go on record saying I don't dislike watching movies. I just have an attention span problem. So I don't want people to come at me.
Also,
like,
squad.
at Mill
Yeah.
at Mill 182 on Twitter. Don't like fucking tweet me and be like, hey, fuck you. You don't
I
like
love that your
movies.
display name is Aptos Mill.
Dude,
Yeah.
It's so clever.
when I'm watching a movie is the only time I can shut my brain off throughout the day. I don't know why. That's the only time.
It's because you quit drinking.
Respect.
Every other time no matter what I'm doing. I was today at work, for example. We have this thing that we're doing every morning called the mindfulness challenge, where it's supposed to literally teach you to just shut your brain off and pay attention to the moment that's happening right in front of you. And as I'm watching this demonstration on how to shut my brain off, I'm thinking, oh, what am I going to have for lunch today? And what am I going to have? What's going to go on the podcast
Thanks to
tonight?
Larry, I'm thinking about Glass Jar right now.
That sounds kind of bad.
That huge bang was me hitting this bottle of gin on the microphone. Sorry, y'all.
We've both. You
It's
know
not a
what?
bottle, it's like a barrel of gin.
Barrel of gin. This ocean of gin.
Because we don't have.
Chris's basement's flooded because they bought a bunch of bathtubs to make moonshine like in The
It's
Simpsons.
not flooded with all the solid week's worth of rain. It's flooded from this ocean of gin
Yeah,
that me
no,
and
it's
Steve are
just-
crushing.
London Dry Gin,
here's
Kirkland signature.
Shout out to
Respect.
Kirk, but or what do you
Kirk.
guys call it? Kirk.
Kirk, dude, C-Co, dude, all day.
Some background information. So like I bought one of these Kickstarters because I had a bang earlier, and this is only 92 milligrams.
This
caffeine.
might be worse than the Low Country episode.
And I filled up a whole cup.
I don't have to edit this, so
Every-
this is going to be
every
fine.
time- A little bit.
A little chunk.
Every time it's gotten halfway, I've poured more gin, and I haven't gotten to 3/4 down yet. So
I think you're doing just great.
I think if I sound like an asshole and you never have heard me talk before, I'm blaming the gin. So
Blame Larry.
no, Larry.
Why?
I
He's
can't
a grown ass man.
Larry brings the
Respect.
most out of everybody.
I love Larry.
I think
My man.
I don't think I ever like am around Larry and don't drink. This might be the first time. I remember.
It's
That
hard,
makes
right?
me sound like a horrific
No,
human being.
no. I think we just know.
We just
We're friends.
run into each other
Cool.
at shows, and that's what you do at shows is you
Go to the
drink.
bar. Like
You get to the show and you're like, okay, well now what? I'm gonna go get a
so
drink.
to talk. I don't know if we're still on a topic, but I was gonna say that show that we played together the first time we played at Moose Lodge. We loaded in and we were like, "Yo, like we don't gotta play for a while. Like let's go scope out this bar." Like I'm like, I didn't drive here, whatever. And we got like, I think I ordered a shot of tequila, and then Jake got a beer, and Jimmy got like a Jack and Coke, and it was like under $10.
Dude, for real, bro,
Oh, yeah,
we
that
get to
place
that
was
bar,
cheap.
and like I get me, Greg, Steve, and Mandy, I think all a drink. And we all had some mixed drink, and nothing was well. It was all like name shit. And it was like $9. And I'm like, you know, I ordered 4 drinks. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was this the Valpo show?
Yeah.
No, honestly, I got
That
myself.
bar was free.
I got myself. No, it really was. I got myself like a shot of JMO and a Space Dust, and it was like $5. I'm like, you kidding me? Like,
drank a bunch of
you go to like.
They had Space Dust there?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
drinking $3. Or maybe $2. It was cheap.
No, it was like $2. It was like
Yeah.
$5 for a shot of JMO and like an IPA. It's like you go to a restaurant that's like $10.
Easily. More.
If not more, yeah.
That's fire.
So-
Let's go there
like,
now.
So like,
book
that
there
show.
again.
Who booked that show?
Local Sounds.
Local Sounds.
Sounds. So
I'll have
like-
Ashley book it.
Let's
Yeah,
let's
do
Shout out
let's-
Local Sounds.
Yeah,
Shout
let's
out
do
Local
it.
Sounds.
So,
Me and Ashley's about to get an apartment together.
so
Y'all come over, be tight.
yeah, it'll be sick. Me and Ashley can talk about Jeremy Williams. I can talk about Jeremy Williams here actually,
Dude,
but
oh my-
before I do, I just want to say that show we opened with Buried, and we used that sound clip for the clean
I
guitar.
love that sound clip.
Thank you. So we open with that, and normally we close with that. It gives us time to breathe because that song is just a haul to play. And I'm sitting there getting ready to play that fucking na na na, and I'm looking at Jake, and I'm like, is it warm in here, or did I drink like a lot of tequila? Like, so that was yeah. But Jeremy Williams, when you guys were talking about him, he was. It's funny. I had a friend who I was my first band I was ever in that played shows. I was like 15, 14.
What was that band called?
Your Mom, literally.
Fucking so tired.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
No, 100%. We were called Your Mom, and we sounded like Sum 41.
I got spills.
We were like a metalish pop punk band, like where we were
Sum
really,
41.
yeah, like we were really riffy and had solos, but we were pop punk. It was sick. And my friend Chris, he was like the other guitar player. He's one of those guys who like took lessons and was real good. So like I was like the singer, like rhythm player, and then he would like play solos. He was like Brown Sound of the band, you know,
Yeah.
and I was like the Derek pre-drugs and
Sure.
pre-Avril, unfortunately. And
I fuck with Avril though.
yeah, Avril's sick. I love Avril.
Is she a body double or what?
No, she's alive. She's cool.
But this is
the internet
thing.
theory.
It's like the Andrew WK one.
Yeah, well, I've seen Andrew WK 3 times. It's always been the same
But
guy.
it may very well have been some other motherfucking dude. There was a school of people that think there was about 45 people who were actually Andrew WK.
Same pizza guitar, though.
Dude, I was going to say, so Andrew WK, I'm not knocking him. I love Andrew WK, but, like, anybody could be that dude.
Motherfucking shit.
No.
That guy writes these fucking beautiful orchestral melodies.
I'm not saying anybody. I'm not saying anybody
soaked and dripping in positivity.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that like anybody can write that music. I mean the way he looks. Anyone
can look
dude.
nasty.
That's what I'm saying.
He's amazing.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about body doubles. I'm saying the theory that there's
multiple quadruples. 5.
That's what I'm saying. Who cares?
I mean, he does say we do what we like and we love what
we're talking about his fucking dope ass band behind him.
He does say we do what we like and we like what we do, so maybe that's a little hidden, like it's
true. It's like, hey, we're a bunch of people. Anyway, back to this thing we were discussing a moment ago.
So we named the band Your Mom because we wanted to just print T-shirts that said "I heart your mom." We thought we'd make a bunch of money, and then we couldn't afford to get the T-shirts made, so it never happened. Because we were 15, like couldn't even get a job. 14.
The next
15.
day at work, when I have time, I'm going to run you some shirts that say "I heart your mom" and just bring them to you. You got them now.
We have dude. If you make those like that, oh my god. So we did like a demo and like we played a couple shows and like the first show I ever played, like there was like a real show. Like we did like 10 Blink-182 covers and like one original, and then we covered "Seek and Destroy" by Metallica. Like 100.
Cover something.
So we've never covered a song.
We're playing a cover, but I'm not telling you what it is. I'll tell them later.
Please tell me it's
We're not.
What the hell is that Thrice song called? It's
not Thrice.
I could tell you it's not Thrice.
Stare at the Sun.
But
I wish it was.
That was like my first. The reason I brought that up is just because my friend Chris was the guitar player in that band. His sister got married to Jeremy Williams, so he like came to my house and was like, we were recording in
like
my
Jeremy
house.
Williams, like first time.
Like yeah, like Natalie, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know her that well, but Jeremy came to my house and was like helping us with like vocal stuff and whatever because we recorded on like a shitty like Tascam 16 track with some kid and.
That's
like,
what you did.
Yeah, but Jeremy's like, all right, sing it like this, and like, okay, I'm gonna like. I was asking him for help, because it's hard to sing. It's still hard to sing. So that was cool, and he got us kind of involved in like, just like knowing his name and being around and like listening to his music was cool because then we were like, oh, we can go see these bands and then be like, yo, like we like Jeremy Williams. Okay, check out Asteria, check out Oceans Over Airplanes, check out whatever, and then I became friends with like a lot of these other bands because of that. Like Tony hit me up the other day actually. So I'm gonna go do some stuff with him soon, I think.
Right.
Yeah, so like it's cool. Like that's kind of my point is just like going back to being older and just being like you just still do it. You don't give a shit. Like it's not like it used to be. So this is the hardest era to be making money from music.
Yeah.
I don't want to make money when I play music. I mean, I would love to.
But I
make money while playing music, but I just want to like hang out with my friends and get sweaty.
I agree.
It would be nice. It would be nice if it didn't cost you to be in a band, though, because to pay for your recording and everything and not make any of it back.
To pay for it.
Well, like let me say this though. Like what I mean by that is, there's no pop filter. Oh, I don't need it. I guess condenser. But let's say like I'm probably spitting into this fucking mic.
That's all right. That's Andrew's mic.
Oh, respect. So I didn't mean it like I need to make a bunch of money, but like. It's hard when you have to get older and balance work and family and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But it is nice if your hobby pays for itself at least. So that's what I try to do with merch and whatever. But, it's like, it's a lot of fun to do still, too. And I think a lot of people, the reason they get weeded out, like, yeah, they get to be like, and I'm not talking about when they get old. I'm talking about when they're like 18. They stop playing. It's not because they have, you're 18. You don't have fucking the kind of bills you do when you're 20,
Right. And when you're 16 and you're in this band with your buddies, you guys practice every fucking day.
Right. But I think people just they find out that they did it because that's what you did and they don't actually care.
Right. And because of how weird like a Stoleaway's kind of path was, like I actually never had that. So like I just wrote songs and recorded from when I was 17 until I didn't play a show until I was 20.
How do you know?
No shit.
Yeah. I'm 23.
Man, you're young.
I think Chris and Steve are like 10 years. I think
Thanks,
you graduated in 2004. You said.
Yeah, I'm 33.
So he's 4. Yeah.
Cool. I'm already decrepit and I don't get out of bed. So.
33.
Dude, once you turn 21, not even that. Once you turn like 19, it's like, okay, well, I am old and it's not getting
Yeah, but
any better.
at least when you turn 21, though, it's cool because you're like, I can drink or buy booze. And then after like 6 months, you're like, this sucks.
Like, oh man, booze is really fucking expensive, actually, and I hate it, but I'm going to buy it anyway.
And I feel like shit after I drink too much.
Yep.
And then when you buy cheap booze, it's like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, and then when you get old and you're like, fuck, I can only buy cheap booze because I have other things to pay for.
Yeah.
Fuck this. And it never gets better.
I'm only gonna drink Twisted Tea by the time I'm like 26.
Turn
You
up.
know what, though? Bringing up the point where it's like if it wouldn't cost you to be in a band is a good point. Because I do put a lot of, not just money, but I put a lot of time into my band for someone who works.
Insane amount of time into my band.
And it's like I'm always like trying to book shows, trying to get rehearsals and songwriting done, and trying to get merch designs. I mean, you guys, I buy gear all the time because I'm an idiot. And like, but it's nice. Thank you. You guys always back the band too. Thanks. You guys spend too much money on our merch, so I appreciate it.
I fuck with
Worth
your
it.
merch.
Yeah,
No, well, we appreciate it.
not only do we love your band, but you have sick merch.
Thank
too,
you.
So.
Thank
Thanks.
you. That's the thanks. I'm wearing it.
I will often see a Stoleaway shirt and be like, I don't know if I did that or if Steve did that.
That's a good thing.
And that's cool.
Yeah, at the same time though, it's like not that we're not derivative of each other, but it's like I notice now, especially, tons of bands are on like the same kind of trend, and I'm like, okay, if Helvetica is the trend,
Papyrus.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh my god.
Go to Wingdings.
I printed the shirt today that had, it said Hustler, big as fuck, the whole front of the shirt, Papyrus, and this company, it's like, I forget what it was called.
That
It
was fucking-
a couple letters.
I just want to say, I wake up in the morning and like usually it's like, okay, I'm gonna put my AirPods in and listen to John Mayer first. I can't do that anymore. Second thing is always like, I can't wait to see what Larry has to print today because like sometimes it's really sick and sometimes it's hilarious.
to me,
So, like, it's weird.
Oh, thank you, by the way. Today's screen printing day.
It is screen printing
So
day.
thank you, Larry.
Well, thank you. The guy who printed your
Thank you,
hoodie that
Mike.
you're wearing currently, his name is Mike, and he is
Modest
dope.
merch.
If you need any merch and you're in a band or any other kind of organization, hit him up. Modest merch.
Mike is sick.
we're not sponsored by them. We just really like their work.
When we
good
shout
dude.
people out, like we pay for that. I just like we want to shout him out because he's sick and like
He's very sick.
I think like people don't realize too, like when you get involved in this kind of music and culture, a lot of times you don't end up being in a band, but you end up doing other things. I mean, look at it right now. Like you guys are running a podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Mike was in bands and stuff. He's doing merch. It's like you end up, and I was telling him this the other day. It's like you kind of get stuck in that world in some part of your life, and it's cool though because you still you help each other out, and it's
because punk rock is a family-based community, and it will always be
Absolutely.
no matter what you're doing.
And that's I kind of always reflect back on that. Like I tell people like hardcore and metalcore and punk and all this stuff and pop punk, whatever. It's not about like a lot of whatever people pin it to be about fighting pizza. I don't know. Like, pop punk was about pizza for a minute.
When did that happen? Pop punk being about pizza.
2012.
Tumblr.
2012.
Is it because that dipshit on YouTube?
I don't know.
Probably.
Fuck that motherfucker.
I think
I miss Tumblr though.
yeah, Tumblr was sick. Well, when they took away porn, it
It's
was
just
just
like the fucking naked people on Tumblr. Pornhub's about to buy Tumblr. And reinstate. I saw that for real today. Pornhub's trying to buy Tumblr to put all the fucking back on Tumblr, which is like, dude, dope.
Tumblr.
I'm still in the far reaches of Tumblr for shit that isn't released yet. Basically, before lyrics or like shit from my my other project are out, it's an obscure blog with 3 followers just because I need the gratification of putting it.
You got another project?
Your Loss.
No, I saw you.
It's not music, but it's like it's a project.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just words.
That's dope.
So if I may plug it real quick. I wasn't
whatever you want.
I wasn't planning on doing this, but the London Dry Gin got to me. But it's daily haikus that I post every month, and then every now and then I'll have a guest on, and I cut the Y out, so it's our loss. So I just posted one today, which is May 2nd with my friend Grant, and it's photos and words. So
Sorry about your loss.
sorry for your loss. It's your loss. Your loss. Thanks.
All right, well, we'll make sure, like I said, when we post this, which this should get posted tomorrow.
Oh fuck!
Just tag stuff in the comments.
Do you have any other shit like projects or anything that people don't know about that you're doing?
Mill's working on something, but
What is it?
I'll post more about that right now because it's kind of it's just I've been writing songs on my own that aren't Stoleaway.
Okay.
So I just want to release some stuff.
Is it that one thing that I talked about doing a design for and never did?
Probably.
It might be.
Go ahead, goal.
Huh?
Go ahead, goal.
It was a hockey-based
Yeah,
thing.
no,
Sorry.
that was just no. That's fine. That was just like a band. I used that band name in the past, but like it was for one of my other bands. I had a band that was a pop punk band, and after our initial run, we would play random shows, and we'd always like bill us as a different name to be funny. So like I like that. Yeah, so like we were Go Ahead Goal once, but I like that name, and then I think once we were like. We changed it to Spark Fires, and then we were like Pizza Planet, and we were just like a bunch of different names. But that was because we would just do like one-offs every now and then, because like, you know, people would move away and like whatever, and then we'd do like a reunion every now and then. But nobody gave a shit, so we just had to make a joke out of it, because like it wasn't like, oh, reunion show, people are gonna come. Like nobody gives a fuck, but like I give a fuck. So
True.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry I keep getting off topic. I probably should be answering more questions about my band than about cereal.
No,
this is fun.
Realistically, so of course we wanted to talk about your band because your band is sick, and
Thank you.
We love you guys, and we want you to get. I mean, we don't have a huge audience, but we hope that somebody hears you guys off this episode, and maybe you'll get another follower on Spotify or something out of it.
I appreciate
but because you guys deserve it.
I appreciate it.
But this was also just about having fun and shooting the shit. So this wasn't just plugging the band. Okay. So we're cool. This whole conversation has been a lot of fun.
This conversation is like if you recorded us talking at any time.
Yeah,
like,
and that's what
after the Low Country show,
for,
me
really.
and Mill hung out in the back room of Franklin House where all the arcade games are. Mm-hmm. And did this for like an hour.
We talked about Tom DeLonge. Oh, really quick, can I just say that Angels and Airwaves is going on tour and they're playing House of Blues?
And like I like two Angels and Airwaves records, and I don't give a fuck about the rest.
I agree. The first two.
The second album has the Anthem Part 2 riff in it.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah. No, but Tom's admitted that. But I just want to say they're playing like right before my birthday, so I want to go and just.
When's your birthday?
September 24th.
My birthday is like a week before yours.
Really?
September 17th.
Exactly 1 week.
So in halfway between those, we are going to have a birthday show.
Birthday party show?
Or party, whatever.
With Angels and Airwaves.
Angels and Airwaves and cereal. That cupcake cereal.
Yes.
That's just going to be tight.
You guys don't understand how good it was.
I'll find it on eBay. It'll probably be sketch and old. Like.
So we're running a bit long, so we got to wrap this up. Is there anything like... Any closing thoughts you guys want to...
I want to say, if you actually listen to this for our band, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Music and all that bullshit. Thank you if you listen to our band or support our band in any way. And if you don't, that's cool too. Just like buy me cereal.
Yeah, and if you listen to Stoleaway, thank you. If you read Your Loss, thanks, because it's just me complaining. And if you follow any of our other stuff.
I just want to say thanks to you guys for having us, because we don't really have anything interesting to talk about.
Yeah, this was fun, man. This was a good episode.
This was one of the more fun podcasts, like either hosting or guesting.
Yeah.
We came into it knowing it's like, well, we're going to talk about mid-2000s metalcore.
It's perfect. And I could go on with that all day, but
Ashley's going to listen to this tomorrow and be like, why did he just invite them over?
You don't even have a place yet. You invited them over already.
I'll just put it out there now because I've been saying it for 2 years. Our record's called Outer Heaven, and we plan on having it out at some point this year, so look out for that.
Okay.
We have a record coming out this year, too, but I'm not telling you what it's called.
We're not here to plug our stuff right now.
You can.
Listen to
your stuff. We're not plugging your stuff.
Don't listen to Stoleaway, listen to Goodbye.
Get by or die.
But
Get by or die. Chris Plant or die.
And drink gin.
But, okay, so...
Drink gin or die and get by or die are synonymous.
So, like they said, check out Stoleaway. We're going to close this out with the track that we clipped at the beginning. This is called Falling Through Space. This is off of their release from last year, also titled Falling Through Space. So thanks for checking us out. Thanks for checking them out. As always, journeyintocomics.com for all of your podcasting needs. There's content every day of the week. They got a bunch of good shows. Nate's a cool dude, so check out out all of his content. And subscribe to Patreon if you feel so inclined. It's only a couple bucks a month. Keeps the network going. So thanks everybody. See you later.
Peace.